Welcome everyone to GAAD Online. My name is Joe Devon and I'm the co-founder of Global Accessibility Awareness Day as well as Diamond. Today I'm going to be speaking about the story of Global Accessibility Awareness Day. Accessibility is personal, but let's first define what it is. Accessibility is the quality of being suitable or adapted for use by people with disabilities. Global Accessibility Awareness Day is commonly referred to as just GAAD to make it easy. It is celebrated the third Thursday every May, and this is the 10th anniversary. You can have lots of fun by following the GAAD, the GAAD hashtag on Twitter and other social media. And please visit our URL at globalaccessibilityawarenessday.org. Now, what really prompted the creation of Global Accessibility Awareness Day is my dad's journey. And it all began with an indignity. You see, my dad, he survived the concentration camps and he just commanded respect when he walked in a room. He didn't have to say anything. My dad spoke 10 languages. It all just showed through. He was a Talmudic scholar. He knew the Bible practically by heart and much of the Talmud too. But he was as good at science as he was at biblical studies. And here's a picture of him at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. As he got older, he started to lose his hearing, his vision started to go, banking on the phone became impossible, and it led to a situation where my dad lost his independence because he was unable to bank. Just getting to the bank physically would require using Access Paratransit, which meant you had to schedule it a day in advance. You had to wait outside in 100-degree heat sometimes for hours or in a place without a restroom. It was just really impossible. And what was sad is that as a web developer at the time myself, I thought, there really should be a solution for this, and the solution should be on the web. Online banking should have covered this. And I just felt so completely impotent to make any kind of difference because the bank wasn't accessible. If a bank isn't accessible, well, what else are you going to do? So I wrote this blog post on an obscure blog called MySQL Talk, proposing that we create a day of awareness for people that build digital products, that they should make their products work for people with disabilities. And after I wrote it, I thought nothing much would come of it. But to my utter shock, Jennison Asuncion, who was a blind accessibility advocate in Canada and now heads an important team for LinkedIn, he found the blog post and said, hey, we're going to make it happen. And in 2012, Global Accessibility Awareness Day was officially born. And if you're wondering, if you're thinking about disability like, oh, it's just some random folks, it's a small percentage here and there. And if you think that it doesn't matter, just understand that this event went viral from year one. We had all kind of interesting things happen, from Stephen Fry tweeting it out to India made governmental events. It was syndicated all over Canada, made my hometown paper. There were 16 events from the first year, and it just struck a chord because it affects so many people. Unfortunately, my dad, who really inspired the GAAD event, passed away by the second one on February 16th, 2013. And he left my brother and I, he was the caretaker for my mom, and he left my brother and I to take care of her. My mom had dementia. And when you want to talk about accessibility and caretaking, you really learn a lot if you ever have to deal with taking care of someone with dementia. But the show must go on. And even though I was totally fried, to my utter shock, the community took on GAAD and lots of companies started to celebrate the event. And we started to collect these NASCAR logo strips, I like to call them. By year 3, the numbers grew. And then an event happened that was the first of many to bring chills down my spine. The very bank that was inaccessible sent us an email and they said, please don't say anything publicly. And I never mentioned their name publicly, but we know we have a lot of work to do with accessibility. And so we're doing an internal event to improve the accessibility of our websites. To this day, they don't even know that they inspired the event. So this is just to show you, beyond the fact that accessibility affects so many people, it's that if you have a good vision and you have a community behind it, you can really achieve great things. So by year 4, we started to collect more logos, year 5, even more logos. And then by year 6, I couldn't even fit the logos on a slide, let alone track it. It's just grown so big. And let's fast forward to last year, which was year 9. Unfortunately, my mom passed away. She was never really understood what GAAD was. She wouldn't have known the name if you said it to her, because her dementia was advanced enough by the time it started. But knowing my mom, she wouldn't have liked this to only be an event about that really came out of my dad. She would have wanted to be a part of it. And she passed at noon on Global Accessibility Awareness Day, just a half an hour after I dedicated the event to her. And so this year is the 10th year. So let's look back on a few notable moments. Here we have a tweet by Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, sharing that he invited Stevie Wonder to give a concert on the Apple campus. The big tech companies started to change their homepage for the day, from Microsoft, IBM, Yahoo, Apple. And then one really big moment, which I will leave you with, is this one. Microsoft released this Xbox adaptive controller, and they made a Super Bowl video with these 3 kids who are just incredible. I suggest you go and find that video because it explains better than any way I could. These kids don't want your pity. They don't want my pity. It's not inspirational, which is a common problem out there, that people try to make an inspiration out of folks with disabilities who try and get on with their life. These kids, all they want is to be able to play video games. And if we do our job right, if we consider the craft of digital product development to include accessibility and people with disabilities, we are going to enable these kids to play their game, and lots of folks like them to interact with the web and with mobile apps. And if we don't, they won't, and it's shame on us. So I want to leave you with a positive note. We've made a tremendous amount of improvement. We're hitting a Twitter reach of 200 million, which is the active daily user count at Twitter. They all see the GAAD hashtag. The awareness is beginning to get over there, and we're making lots of great strides. So hopefully in the next few years, we're going to see that accessibility is really going to have its moment, and it's really going to shine. And with that, I wish you all, thank you for creating a GAAD event, and I wish you a happy 10th Global Accessibility Awareness Day. Thank you so much.